I imagine. Is it the first one, or have you had other albums or other records?
First official record, yeah. Yeah.
Okay, hi, it's Larry London, Voice of America, American Idol's on tour, and ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, across from me, definitely one of the highlights of this past season, the hottest guy in the show. Everybody went nuts for him, still go nuts on the road. Adam Lambert, welcome to the Voice of America.
Hi, nice to be here.
It's great to have you on the show, and you know, you finished second, but a lot of people thought that you were the runaway winner on the show, and I heard a rumor that after the show was over, you performed with Queen, Brian May, and I heard that he asked you to join.
Yeah, that was actually the finale. That was the finale, the very last night of the show. Chris and I both sang We Are the Champions with Brian May and Roger Taylor from Queen, and you know, I think that the media kind of turned a simple interaction into a big rumor. He basically said, you know, we would love to collaborate with you sometime. And then the media kind of telephoned that into Adam Lambert has been asked to be the new lead singer of Queen.
Freddie Mercury.
Which, I mean, was the most beautiful compliment in the world, and I would jump at the chance to work with him at any time. But right now it's like I'm working on my own thing, obviously.
And what is your own thing? Tell me about the new project.
I have an album coming out in November. We started working on it right after the show, and we've been working on the creative process. I've been co-writing, sorting through some other tracks and songs while on the road, and we have about a month's more work ahead of us when the tour is over. It's going to be great. It's going to be like pop, rock, dance, electronic. It'll be really modern and fresh, and it'll have the drama and theatricality. It'll have like music that you can get up and feel good about. It'll have anthems that inspire people. I'll have a couple ballads on there that make you feel. It should kind of run the gamut. It's going to be great.
And does it have a title yet?
It is currently untitled.
Untitled.
Yeah.
Possibilities?
No.
You don't want to tell us, is that it?
Well, we haven't really gotten there yet. We kind of have to look at, you know, we'll probably pick around 12 songs out of this batch of music that we have, because it's definitely a growing collection of songs. And depending on which songs we put on the album, I think that'll kind of help us come up with a title.
It's got to be exciting, but at the same time, there's a lot of pressure, tremendous pressure. I mean, you did so well on American Idol. People are watching you. What's he going to do next? What's going to happen?
I feel that pressure. It's a good kind of pressure. I think that having that expectation is kind of giving me a lot of momentum in this process. But yeah, it's interesting because on Idol we do all cover music that's tried and true. You know, I picked songs that I knew people would like for the most part, and now it's like, oh, this is original material. This is a whole new ball game, and people know that I can sing and people like my voice, but are they going to like the songs?
Right, right. And before Idol, you had done a lot of theater work, a lot of acting work. That definitely helped. I mean, you knew how to perform a song versus just get out and sing a song. There's a difference between singing a song and performing a song.
Definitely.
And you had that down.
Thanks.
Thank me. But so in choosing music over acting, I mean,
you know, it's funny. I never really thought of myself as a very strong actor. I did a lot of musical theater, but I think I got most of my work for the singing as opposed to the acting. Like I remember ever getting cast in a role that was real like focused on the acting chops. I'm not saying that I can't, but I think the singing is really what pushed me into that. And you know, it's interesting because I did like earn my bread and butter doing the theater thing for the last couple of years in Los Angeles, but at the same time I was doing that, I was writing music. I was in a rock band, performing out in clubs and stuff at night, working with different producers, coming up with music, different styles. And so it was cool because I had my theater thing as like a job and as something that I can draw a lot of experience from, and something that did prepare me for live performances. But I also had all this that was going on with the rock band thing and the pop music production and co-writing that was going on at the same time. So those two things kind of together really prepared me for Idol.
And how did you come to audition for the show? Was it
you
decided, or did friends?
I decided. I kind of got to this point where I wasn't really creatively satisfied with my theater job that I was in. Obviously, like I said, it was supporting me just fine, but I wanted more creative freedom and hands-on influence on what I was creating, and I wanted to create some more financial security for myself as well. You know, I was like, I want to get paid. I want want to make some more money. I want to buy a house. You know, I'm 27 years old. I want to be a grown-up and like really be able to take care of myself. I can't be a gypsy my whole life. So there was a lot of different factors. And ultimately, I was like, you know what I need is I just need exposure. Because in this business, if you were visible, you can do a lot with that visibility. So I knew that Idol, no matter what happened, would be some sort of exposure if I made it past a certain point. And I didn't expect to get as far as I did at all. I mean, I kept saying to myself, I just want to crack that top 10 so I can go on tour and make some money over the summer and get out there and make some contacts and hopefully meet some other writers and people in the industry. So the fact that I made it all the way to the finals was like, every week that it counted down, I was like, wow, I can't believe I'm still here. This is crazy.
Well, that's interesting to hear you say that, because that's a common statement from the people I've been interviewing, is that everybody had their sights set on just getting in the top 10. It wasn't about the winning.
No.
And I do have to ask you, because I'm sure you've been asked this many times before, is there you are, you know, the hype is there, the headlines are all there, USA Today saying Adam's is the guy, definite, and Paul is there, and you're the one to beat, you're the idol, and everybody's saying it, and you're hearing it constantly on the news media, and it gets to that moment, and there's that moment in time, and Ryan's got the card, and the name is not Adam Lambert. What was the first thing in your mind? Now, I know all the goody stuff, and Chris, way to go, you're the good guy, but what first came in your mind?
Literally, I was like, I remember right before he read it, I was like, okay, it might be me, but it might not be me. I mean, I really at that point knew it didn't matter what the media was saying. It didn't matter what the judges were saying. I was like, ultimately, it's going to come down to the votes. And it's a 50-50 chance right now. It's a toss-up. I knew that it was a toss-up. And Chris and I got along really well, like you were saying. I mean, we'd kind of talked about it the day before. I'm like, what do you think's going to happen? He's like, I don't know. And we were both laughing about it. And I was like, honestly, it really, and I know it sounds cliche, and I know it sounds like PC, BS, but it didn't matter. It wasn't about winning a title for me. It wasn't about, I am the American Idol. It was never about that. It was about, how can this create future opportunities for me? And now I'm making an album. People know who I am. I have a fan base, and I'm doing what I wanted to do, and I'm getting what I wanted to get out of the process, which was experience and opportunities. And so it didn't really make a difference to me, I think Chris is great. I think Chris won because he got more votes. Bottom line.
There's been a lot of controversy in the last couple of weeks about, and this is started by other American Idol contestants in the past, as to that maybe the votes really don't count. It's the producers picking the winners of the show.
I don't think the producers pick the winners of the show. Why would we be voting if that was the case? I mean, I'm not gonna lie and say that I don't think that the producers have people that they like. I'm sure that they do, and that's evident in some of the earlier footage when they push certain people or create stories around certain contestants. They probably, see us all in the auditions and they're like, okay, we like this guy, that's a good story, that's interesting, this will get people interested in the show, and those are the people that they really build up. And that's their job. They're creating a television show. That's what they're doing. It's Fox. That's the point.
That's right.
So they're creating stories. They want people to get invested. And what's really interesting is that doesn't necessarily matter, because I was fortunate enough to have some interest from the producers early on. They built some footage around me. They featured me a lot in the first couple episodes. But what's funny is that Chris was not featured in the early episodes, and he won. So it really doesn't matter when you think about it. So any speculation either way, it's a television show. It's meant to be dramatic. It's meant to be interesting.
And everybody loved your duet with Chris. And would you do something that's totally off the page and do a song, record a song together? Because that hasn't been done before.
I think it's not out of the realm of possibility, but I know that we're both working so hard on our respective albums that it's kind of like, who knows if that's going to happen right now. We're both really focused on our own thing. I'm sure we'll perform together again in the future. We really dig each other as musicians, and we'll see, I guess.
And what was the best advice you got on the show? And who gave it to you? Whether it be the judges, the mentors, what was it?
The best advice. I got some advice from, I got a lot of support early on from Paula and Randy. That was those were the first two people that were really patting me on the back and making me feel safe and approved of. But Kara was actually really interesting, because she took a little while to win over. And she said to me, along with Simon wrapping up in it, it's theatrical. And I said, well, what does that mean? What's wrong with that? And they're like, well, there's nothing wrong with the style of it, but I don't believe you. I feel like it's put on. It's showy and kind of I don't buy it. That was basically what she was saying. And that was probably the best wake-up call I got, was make me feel something, make me believe it. And from there on out, I was more careful with some of the material I chose. I wanted to do stuff that was a little more emotional, as well as the big, showy, over-the-top theatrical stuff. And I tried to keep balance on the show, and I think we got it.
Oh, definitely, definitely. We're waiting for that album in November. We wish you all the best, and
get ready.
Looking forward to Adam Lambert. More music, more entertainment from this guy. This is one of the best on the show. Thank you so much for doing this, and give you a chance to say hi to the troops. They're tuned in right now. If you look at the camera and give them some love.
Hey guys, hang in there. Thank you so much for all that you do for us. We appreciate it. Thank you for protecting our freedom.
Can you do 2 quick IDs? One is you're watching, I'm Adam Lambert, you're watching The Voice of America. However you want to introduce yourself. If you don't even want to connect to American Idol, just, I'm Adam Lambert, you're watching The Voice of America.
Okay. Hey guys, Adam Lambert here. You're watching The Voice of America.
And the last one is you're listening to Larry London. That's my name.
Okay. I'm Adam Lambert, and you're listening.
Yeah, you can give me a hard time if you want. This is radio. I don't care.
Hey everybody, it's Adam Lambert, and you're listening to Larry London.
Perfect.
Yep.
Thank you. Thanks again.
My pleasure.